Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Warped Season 2, Episode number 25. Welcome. We will be using mature language. Hopefully you're well marinated by now in your acceptance of that. And we're back. So,
taxes and furnishings.
So, Thick, you have sort of occupied Ichar's attention, and B.R.A.I.N has kind of wandered off.
Does B.R.A.I.N still have that tool I gave him? The one that was the comms pad that had been messed with? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if I gave it to him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he gave it back or not. Okay.
I think you get a data burst. It's just a whole bunch of like binary that comes your way, and it's clearly from B.R.A.I.N, and it says, "I've found an access, and I am proceeding to test their defenses now."
Okay. I will. Thick will turn to look at Ichar and go, "Can you repeat that one more time? I was trying to record exactly what you were saying, but I ended up having a
I thought that androids had the capability of recording things without any loss in quality.
Clearly, we are not.
You need to do a diagnostic now. I will wait."
I pretend to run a diagnostic. I just have like a loading bar pop up on my LED screen.
Is it just like...
Just waiting for B.R.A.I.N to like, come on, B.R.A.I.N, this is ridiculous. In fact,
Do you do the 3% and then like back to 2% thing?
yeah, I'm gonna do like a timer underneath that Steam does, and it'll be like 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 30 minutes, 35 minutes, 40 minutes.
She's tapping her foot.
I've
It's
never
really
seen a
bad.
diagnostic take this long. You need an upgrade to your processor.
Pretends like she doesn't hear it because she's still loading.
Are you making like floppy drive noises?
Start throwing in some Dalit noises. Beep, 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 beep.
Ah.
Okay, loading and diagnostics are done. Please repeat your story.
As I was saying, there was a strange outcropping that sort of looked like a face.
While
I
she
could
talks,
barely
she's
see it through the
Dynamiting
haze.
back to B.R.A.I.N that's like, don't worry, you got plenty of time. It's fine.
In this strange face, I could barely see through the haze. There was some sort of creature that was quite apt at climbing as well. It had many arms, and it looked like some sort of large insect. It was climbing the face of the rock, seemingly without the need to jump or look for 3 points of contact. I was forced, however, to exert a force that exceeded my normal expectations.
Thick steps to the left and the right. I'm sorry, I needed to move in order to not fall asleep.
Are you trying to tell a joke?
No, I will fall asleep if I stand still too long.
Androids cannot sleep.
It's more of a sleep phase or state. As in to preserve memory, to preserve power.
Are you insulting me?
She like takes a step closer.
Not in the slightest. I've seen many of skilled combatants in the times that I have been both in prison and in the smuggling business, but you I have not heard stories about.
Prison?
I served my time in prison.
Officer Muromets did not tell us of your incarceration.
I did not escape. I am definitely out legally and served my time fully.
What were you jailed for?
I unfortunately was a part of a smuggling ship as a service droid.
You are a thief, then.
I personally am not a thief, but I did aid thieves in the smuggling business as a service droid sold to them by my creator.
She like narrows her eyes.
Perhaps we will carry on this conversation later. I believe that giving away tactical secrets to one such as you is not a wise plan.
These are merely studies in tactical strategies, words, mouth.
Strategeries.
Blah, 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 blah. I know, I just went bush. Straight up bush on you guys. Anyways, is for Ilya.
Machine head. So yeah, she looks at you kind of
We are done here.
and she starts to walk away from you.
I will start to play the video of the 2 cats, 1 box from when last feline that I was with was around.
When McLokin's character was on the show. Okay. So, yeah. So you start playing this video.
Just like,
It's like on your LED, I guess,
mhm.
screen. She turns around. She's,
What are you doing?
I am sorry. I am trying to clear my memory for more space for your stories. Should I delete this video?
you get another data burst from Brain, and it says, it says penetrated defenses, exploring their database. It is more vast than any of our current storage technologies. Fascinating.
Okay, I will reply back. But storage for what? Do you think it's for the simulations, or do you feel like any of them are more of a backdoor storage for other items?
So yeah, you get another reply. It appears to be a different means of storage. Their technology does not seem to have a top end. They don't have a limit to how much data they can store with this technology. This is a revolution. I must dig further.
Be careful, is what I'll say back. But curiously, also check for any sort of power pulling from other neighboring areas due to the fact that I don't know if there ever has been an unlimited storage amount. I'm curious if they're pulling, essentially stealing power and storage from other sources for this to continually always be limitless.
Yeah, so I think that you don't get a response immediately. Ichar is basically like reading you the riot act, like for showing this. Like she's screaming at you. You just kind of like tuned her out. Like there's like spittle like that's blasting you in the face.
She says, How dare you? I did not acquiesce to see such things. This is incredibly offensive. I had no desire. What is that cat doing? This is horrible. Stop it now.
I will start to stop the video and I will say, I'm sorry, I do not understand offensive between the nature of your being or creature or species. I just know that the previous... What's the race again? I'm sorry.
Feeling?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The previous feeling we had on staff did have this stored on his computer base, so I didn't know if this was something that would be appealing to you or not.
It is clearly not. Stop it immediately.
Okay, stops the video. I'm sorry.
She's all riled up, and you can see like her eyes like are bloodshot and just kind of like the capillaries in her eyes look like they're a second away from bursting, and she.
Would you like me to play some soothing music? It seems as though your vital signs are...
No! I want you to leave me now! Go back to doing whatever you are doing.
Would you like to do a puzzle?
No!
Well.
You are angering me. and I am sure that Officer Muromets would not be upset if you had a further malfunction.
I do believe that I am the best at the navigational skills on our ship, so I would hope that any malfunction would be not apparent. I do care about our staff as well as our company.
Give me a charisma check.
Yeah.
Plus, I think you get your extra d6. I feel like this is bluffing.
Oh yeah. Well.
A 7 and a 2. Okay.
Because there's probably somebody who is better at navigational skills than I am. Because obviously I was like not good at rolling.
Yeah. So she looks like she's getting extremely upset, and she's like approaching you with violence in her eyes. And she says,
Wouldn't miss you at all.
she's kind of breathing heavy, and she looks a bit crazed, like a bit manic right now.
Okay, I will send a message to B.R.A.I.N while he is hacked into the system to trigger alarms in this area.
So you send a data burst to B.R.A.I.N, but before it goes through, you hear a dun, 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 dun. Lights begin to flash on the docking platform, and you receive a data burst before yours has sort of been processed, and you get back. Defenses have detected me. Alerts have been triggered. They have some sort of secondary and tertiary routines that are running in the background to discover activities such as this that did not appear on my scans. Not good.
Okay, I will send him a message that essentially says, try to back out, try to disconnect, but I'm ending messages now to not essentially incriminate myself.
Okay. Ichar is like advancing on you, and she's sort of like hunched in posture. It looks like she's sort of ready to pounce. And then immediately upon hearing the alarms, she sort of like springs around like sort of like a cat that's heard a loud noise, and she's turning.
What is going on? What's happened? Are we being attacked?
I wonder if your extreme vital signs and aggression have set off any alarms in the area. I do believe they have pretty high...
Quiet!
And she just kind of like bellows full volume at your, right at you. Wayne, she says, Wayne like pops up and she says,
Lieutenant Burns, get in position for an attack. Sean, I want you to take position there. Delon, Kirari, get on the ship. Prepare medical supplies. It's possible that we have someone coming in hot.
everyone starts to get into like this sort of battle stations inside the simulation.
Ooh.
You guys are sort of gathering yourselves, having conversation, when you get a sort of pop-up that appears. Intrusion detected.
Oh.
How does it pop up? Just like
It's
in front
just
of us,
it's
like on this in the sky.
It's in this,
like...
yeah, it's just kind of floating there. It looks like almost like as if a video was just kind of like a hollow video was just kind of put on a plane.
Is there like a drop down arrow or a more info button? Or...
No, definitely not.
500 credits.
But you can sort of start to hear this like alarm that's kind of going off that sounds like it's not coming from any particular direction. It just kind of sounds like it's coming from all over.
Intrusion to the simulation?
We didn't do nothing. Wasn't me.
Well,
Molly's looking around. She says, "What did you do?"
We didn't do anything. We
We're
shot
here.
a bunch of criminals.
I
Did the
might,
smoke guy run over, maybe?
I might have done something.
What
She
have you done,
says-
Dickie?
Oh no.
I made
No.
a hacking tool for Thick.
You did what?
And I feel
We're
like
gonna go
Molly
to
turns
jail.
around and she's like wide-eyed and she says, "Oh no."
That
What?
was against my direct orders, Dr. Icarus.
Why would you? Oh, you. Are we going to jail? I'm too pretty to go to jail.
Well, technically, we didn't do anything.
The simulation starts to break down around you. You can see this sort of almost holodeck-like sort of grid, except instead of a grid, it's sort of hexagonal, almost similar to the
God, I
puzzle
hate
room.
Space games. Sorry.
Sort of like the puzzle area that you guys were in before. On the wall, it's kind of gridded. You could see these sort of emitters or something kind of built into the area around you. It's a very large space. I would say, unlike the sort of like holodeck area that you'd see like in Star Trek, in here it's a much bigger space, and there's sort of these really strange looking shapes that are protruding from the wall. It's not flat surfaces. It's kind of difficult to judge the shape of the room. The floor has these sort of hexagonal grid shapes on them, but it's almost an amorphous kind of shape. It looks like there's parts that are kind of bending inward, and something like that. And you're basically getting this alarm that's kind of going off right now.
Okay,
I mean, it
everyone
might
stow.
not be.
Be quiet, Dr. Icarus. Everyone stow weapons. Don't have any weapons in hand. Betty, if you still have your handcuffs, please put Dr. Icarus in handcuffs.
Right, you've got him.
No.
Right.
What? Why? No, what?
Oh,
He's
come here,
older.
Dickie. Come here. Right,
No.
give us your hat. Come on, give us your hat.
Does this mean I finished the battle royale?
Probably, I don't know. Come here, Dickie. I'm just gonna jump onto the wheelchair and just like chink, chink.
I'm driving the wheelchair away from you.
Yeah. It. Don't forget, it's fucked at the moment.
It's true.
Yeah.
Does
So
Betty-
Actually-
I just
Does
take
Betty have her gun on her hip?
To be fair, as
Please.
soon as the simulation cancels, your wheelchair returns, your hover chair returns to normal.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Oh, okay. So the
Yeah.
Yeah,
simulation
I'm
is
gonna try and take a running jump onto your wheelchair.
The only person that is still affected is Vok 2. Vok 2, you're still wounded. You still have all of your scratches and scrapes and whatnot. The rest of you are back to full health. There's no signs of battle, anything that was kind of done to you. You're back in your normal clothing that you had on before the battle and before the simulation. Vok 2, you're, like I said, you're the only one that's wearing what you were wearing, and you still have your wounds and everything.
What about all the stuff I was covered in? I guess they were all.
That's
virtual-
gone.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's gone. So Molly is still there, and you can see around you there's a few people that are around, sort of different races, different like aliens that are kind of like looking around, kind of confused. Molly has changed shape. Molly now is a sort of multi-limbed, sort of quadrupedal alien. She's kind of got a brownish color to her. She's wearing kind of very shiny and like ostentatious kind of clothing and lots of jewelry, or something that you would assume is jewelry.
Nice bling, love.
She's got things like sort of hanging from different appendages, and she's making a clinging and like clattering sound as she's moving around. And you can hear this sort of translator translating her speech. You can hear this sort of, "This is not good. What have you done?"
What if I know?
We should probably get back to the others.
This is the worst crime that you can commit against the Pyrllyp.
What is punishment for this crime?
Punishment? I have never seen anyone commit such an act.
Very well. Unfortunately, Dr. Icarus, you
Wait.
have part in this. You are
Maybe we should all just GTFO. What do you reckon?
No.
Look, Ilya, in all, with the fullest respect, fuck off. We're a team, a military team put together. They are against us? No.
I don't understand what you are saying
It's
at
a
all.
colloquialism. I picked it up from Betty. It actually means intercourse.
What? No, it doesn't. Well, it does, but not, not technically. It's
The
just,
fuck?
Well, we shall wait here for a moment.
We should leave.
Right, you know
Where
what?
will we leave, Doctor?
with
We were
Dickie.
transported in here.
Well, let's get out.
I'm going to try and find a way out.
Yeah, I'm just like,
No, Dr. Icarus, your orders are to remain here. Betty, can
Okay,
you
I'm off.
disable his... Betty, you're also to remain here is order.
right, okay. I'm just sort of patting the wall, just like trying to work out if there's a way out or anything.
Okay. So, give me a perception check. I will tell you that it's going to be really hard. The way that this place is sort of structured is really fucking with your sense of perception, like your depth perception.
Okay, I'm gonna slap a luck dice on this as well.
Do you have them?
Oh, actually, no, shit.
Yeah, I don't think it hasn't been a day yet.
Alright.
You still haven't gotten them recharged.
No, that's no.
A 7 on your perception roll. You're moving
Holy
around.
shit.
Yeah, you're moving around trying to find like the wall, but like as you get closer, like the wall is kind of doing the thing where you think you're close to it, but it's still a step away.
We don't know, Dickie. Come on,
Betty,
what's going
Betty, stop. Here.
What?
Just like, grab your arm.
We need to get out. We need to get out.
Right, that's what I'm trying to do.
Right, if you can't find an exit, make an exit.
What?
Make an exit.
Betty, I have question for you. Could you come here?
Banner.
He's
Right,
trying to
three
arrest us.
panels
Betty.
here.
He's gone mad with power.
Panels here. Panels anywhere.
Betty,
Are there any panels I can unscrew?
please stow your tools in the...
I don't want to go to jail. You know what they do to Boreans in jail?
Betty,
They
did
just
you
can't
have...
resist the musk. It's the
Betty,
musk. They
did you
just
have
can't
any part in the
There-
crime?
So if you
I'm
like,
an accessory, aren't I? We're with him. I fixed his thing. I don't know.
so you've
What
gotten down on the
thing-
ground, Betty. The only thing that you can find that's close to you is the ground. So you get like down on the ground and you try to like,
Crowbar.
yeah.
Betty, if you were innocent before, I believe damaging their property is crime, so I would avoid doing
We're
this.
not damaging it. I'm just jimmying it. Is a difference.
Betty,
alright?
you're to put
Oi,
your tools away. If you don't, then you'll
got
be
it.
disobeying
Fine.
direct order.
Look.
I get my rifle out and point it at Betty. Betty,
What
this
is
is direct
happening?
order. If
He's
you do not
losing
follow
his
this
mind.
order,
I'm so
you will be
confused.
shot.
I just don't want to go to jail.
Betty,
alright?
1, 2.
The alarms stop.
Oh, we're fine. That's fine.
Well,
That's
that's fine
fine.
then.
Everything's
Oh, okay.
fine.
The
Yeah,
alarms
yeah.
stop, and a shimmering light nearby
Oh no.
starts to coalesce, and Molly says, I cannot believe it. We are about to be graced by one of the programmers.
What's so special about that?
Bunch of nerds.
If it is a producer, then we must bow. And you get like this sort of shimmering light forming into existence is this shape. You hear this as this kind of I think mostly shimmering sort of satin-like fabric covers another Pyrllyp who looks similar to Molly, but maybe has like 2 extra limbs and is kind of even further jeweled and glittering, and they have this sort of trussle that follows behind them. Very, very obnoxiously ostentatious. upon every appendage are various rings of different metal and glimmering jewelry and such adorning them. And in front of Molly, you see her sort of eyes go wide. She doesn't. I think in terms of eyes, they probably have something like 5 eyes that sort of circle around their. They don't have necks and heads. They kind of have a torso, and inside the torso, they've got eyes that kind of line their torso, and a sort of mouth inside there. So this creature sort of forms, and you hear this booming voice.
Intrusion has been detected into the spectacle. Not for countless generations has one attempted such a feat.
It turns towards your group and says,
Your affiliated life forms have been charged with intrusion.
I'm not affiliated with them. I
Never
just take
met
a
him
step
before
to
in
the
my
right.
life. I'm just don't know him.
I would be willing to discuss with you. I look to Molly. What is proper term of respect?
Molly is like bowing deep onto the ground, like knees. I guess their knees are kind of bent, and
I'll just be like, right.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
I just kind of default is sir. Any who have committed
I am
crimes.
producer programmer.
Mr. Producer Programmer, if any of my group have committed crime, I will make sure they are held fully accountable. If you
I'm
would
not with them.
like to get our group together, and I will gladly discuss this with you. I am unfortunately leader of these individuals.
What is your designation?
I am Lieutenant Ilya Muromets. You may call me Ilya if you wish, sir, Mr. Producer.
Your group will be incarcerated immediately for further incursion detection.
Again, I am not with them.
Yes, sir, this individual we met inside, he is not part of our group.
She's
Yeah,
not with us either.
I did not witness any of our group inside spectacle.
She's not with them. We're not with them, are we?
Designation You are free to leave.
I'm with her, alright? I'll go too, shall
You
I?
are not with her, Betty. You are part of this group.
God damn it, fine. Nice to meet you, Molly.
We apologize, Molly.
Don't be
Please.
a stranger.
please give me a charisma check, Betty. A 9 on a what? 2d6?
3d6.
3d6. Molly kind of looks at you in your general direction, you assume, and says,
Betty, it was enjoyable for a short period of time. Perhaps further study is required.
Alright. Really? Well,
Unfortunately, you are in a bit of a predicament, and I am not that interested.
Oh, it's fine. Right, don't worry. They never call back. I'm used to it. It's fine. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
Molly is kind of maintaining a sort of lowered posture, and she says,
Please Please, producer, programmer, I beg of you, do not assume that these creatures are entirely responsible for their actions. They are unfamiliar with our culture and ways. I will determine their fate. You are to leave immediately. Any creatures remaining in this simulation, lead them away from here. They are refunded any credits spent for this simulation, and they are free to leave. Designation Vok to draw. You are free to leave.
Okay.
You have not joined with this group and have not committed the acts. You have not been with their party for long. It has been determined that the incursion has not been part of your acts.
I look back to the group, and I'm going to go and stand next to Ilya.
Do you not understand my words? Is there a broken translation?
No. They fought valiantly with me. I will stand by them.
Do you stand near Betty?
No, Ilya, I'm on the opposite side. I'm as far away. Well, it depends on where Betty is. Where's Betty in this?
Just out on her own, as usual.
Yeah, I'll stand next to Ilya.
You don't have to do this, Voktu. You are free to leave. You owe us nothing.
I have nowhere to go. I have no ship. They took it from me for these points. Speaking of, can I buy a ship with my points, Mr. Producer?
It kind of says, you wish to refund your credits for physical objects?
Well, could I instead refund them for our freedom? I probably have a few by now. Can you tell me what my current balance is?
There's a sort of sigh and like this kind of he pulls out this kind of device of some sort. It's like this strange hollow projection, and you could see like a sort of holographic interface as the many limbs sort of are interfacing with various controllers in the atmosphere, and certain things are being. You have. I gotta pull up the. You have 2,196 credits.
Is that a lot?
That is enough to purchase,
And you start to get like this I guess there's this kind of like pinging sound, like ping, ping, ping.
Where's that coming
ping,
from?
Ping. That is the terminal located there.
And it points with one of its limbs.
You may search there for available purchases. Once 1,000 credits are exceeded, you can begin to purchase physical items. Your journey through the spectacle has been one of great interest, apparently.
But is it enough to purchase the freedom of the group?
Unfortunately, such actions are incalculable in price.
That's too bad. I'm gonna walk over to the terminal.
Yeah, very well, producer, programmer. If you would like,
And it
we
just
will
says,
go now to be questioned.
You must address me as
Okay, I will try. Can you give me one more time?
I am
Dickie, you got a
producer.
recorder.
I am producer programmer. Zik.
No, not. Oh, right, I got my phone. Hang on.
Okay,
Wait,
the-
2 seconds. Okay,
It's
go on then.
fine. Producer Zicho, we are ready.
You have not
to-
pronounced it correctly. I will not be addressed in such a fashion.
Unfortunately, I think is limitation of my biology.
Please wait.
You get this like light that's scanning your physiology.
It is well within your physiology to pronounce my name. Please attempt it again.
Go on, Dick. Not Dickie. Go on, Ilya. You can do it.
Okay, a producer programmer. Zich. Producer programmer Zicho is that good news?
You have just assumed that I procreate with my mother. This is unacceptable. You have further
Ilya,
offended
what are
me.
you doing?
Is probably limitation of my brain. I'm very bad with
What was it again?
pronunciation.
That is much closer.
Right.
Well,
See?
If you
Where
would
you wanna
like,
go?
we are
Just
ready
about
for.
donkeys having sex.
I'm ready to discuss our situation.
You will be transported immediately to the incarceration chamber.
This is a bad idea.
Right.
Before this is done, however,
This creature begins to turn towards Dr. Icarus.
I shuffle away from Dickie.
there is a more pressing matter.
It starts to like walk towards you, Dr. Icarus.
Okay.
There is a creature living inside Dr. Icarus.
What?
You what?
The interface sort of like moves again. You see the like many limbs reaching out and like interacting with this holographic interface. From the hexagonal panels, these sort of grabby type arms come out and like grab you, Dr. Icarus, clinging to your
Can I dodge that?
clinging to your arms. Sure, give me an agility check plus dodging if you've got it,
Plus dodge.
or reactions.
plus reactions. Hey.
And I think that any sixes that you get here explode if you get a 6, but no 6s.
No, 2 5s. Not bad.
Okay, so Dr. Icarus, you immediately try to like reach for your nitrous button, I think, and the grabbing apparatus that's sort of like clamps with like arms that just kind of like they just reach out and cling to like your bicep area hard. Then from
Where his biceps would be if he had any.
yeah, and below you, there's 2 more that just kind of like open up, one from the front and one from the back, that are larger and kind of grab you by the chair and just kind of like grab them.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and struggle out of this, and it's a real solid grip. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like. Kung.
Oh yeah.
Um.
It's like metal arms that are grabbing you.
So I think everyone starts to hear this noise coming from me, and I'm just gonna open my mouth as wide as I can. And I'm gonna get out of this meat sack.
Okay. This horrible squelching sound as Dr. Icarus just kind of like mouth opens like a little too wide, and you see this sort of wriggling ferret-like shaped secret come out from Dr. Icarus's mouth and slither onto the ground.
Who's nearest to me?
I
I
totally
am
pull up my
totally taking a
rifle.
pot shot of that thing.
I'm standing at the terminal, like 20 feet away, looking back, just mouth fucking agape.
It's like, oh god, it's them!
And
Hold fire, Betty. Hold fire.
this is where we're going to take our last break of the day. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned for some more Warped Season 2, episode number 25. We'll be back in just a little bit. Hang tight.